Hello and welcome to Nug and Cymek review DC Comics, the New 52, where every week Nug and I review every single one of the new DC titles. I'm Andrew Cymek.
And I'm Nug, and we are coming into the last week of the threes.
Yeah.
After this, fours. We're that far into the new DC 52.
It's been a crazy ride so far. A lot of good books, a lot of not so good books.
True.
Last week was amazing.
Oh, man.
How was this week?
Well, let's see. Let's start it off with New Guardians, Green Lantern, New Guardians. Oh, boy, what a book to start this off with. You know, Kyle Rayner isn't just a Green Lantern.
There's something special about Kyle Rayner.
How about that? It's Kyle Rayner. But I think you summed it up when you read this one panel. He gets kind of beat the crap out of, and then he says, God, this just keeps getting worse.
I was kind of being a smartass when I said that. Is it getting worse? I mean, you said to me that it was the best.
The best of the three.
There's a lot of things going on with this book. You know, we had Kyle Rayner put on all the rings. He became this other entity.
I'm going to call him Rainbow Warrior.
Sure, Rainbow Warrior. Sounds good to me. Then the Guardians, spoilers, take all the rings from him, bar one. There's a lot going on. I find it's a mess. And it's a shame because I think the art is really good in this book.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of colors, you know.
Well, they would have to be.
Yeah, I guess, with all the different rings. It's almost like it looks like a good book.
It looks like it should be a good book.
Right, but don't let that fool you because I just think that there's a lot of concepts that they're throwing around that it's like, oh, and then this happens, and then, oh, but you thought this, so let's put this in, and like, really, it's just losing me in the rainbow brightness.
The only saving feature for me of the whole book this week, though it is the best of the three, is that a question was answered since there was an orange ring that showed up, and there is only one, or Larfleeze has them all.
Right.
Hey, how is that orange ring there? We find out.
Right. So we're not going to spoil it for you. I mean, it's a kind of a reveal though that even though it was like, oh, finally they discuss it. I don't know. Did you feel cheated by it a bit?
Little.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So I mean, New Guardians for us, it is the best of the series so far, but it's still I don't think a pickup for us.
Oh no. I can think of other rainbow things to pick up before this book. Up next, Voodoo versus Green Lantern. Didn't we just see Kyle in another book?
We did, and here he is.
And here's Kyle in this book, and I have to say, I like Kyle in this book better than in his own book.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, do you remember my reaction when I flipped the page and I was like, oh no, Kyle Rayner is now entering Voodoo. Especially when I thought that Voodoo was hitting on all cylinders as just a B movie book. Like I didn't think it needed the superhero element added to it. Having said that, I didn't mind Green Lantern in this.
Not at all. It makes sense because they're policing the Earth from alien threats, and Voodoo is technically an alien threat.
So I mean, it made sense. It wasn't shoehorned in.
Not at all.
And that's what I was worried about, was that bringing in superheroes into books like, you know, Voodoo and iVampire, you'd be shoehorning the concepts in. So it didn't feel like it didn't fit in. I did, however, miss seeing the agents in this issue.
Yeah.
They focus a lot on the fight, like the Kyle Rayner versus Voodoo meets a couple more of her people.
Yeah, they're referred to as hybrids.
Hybrids, yeah. I mean, so it does continue the Voodoo storyline. I enjoyed the book. It continues to be a surprise for me as being good.
We have a little connection
Yeah.
at the end of the book, which I think if you've read any of the solicits for the upcoming books, you'll see that there are some alien connections between this book and Grifter.
Right.
And then Deathstroke, am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, they're all going to combine somehow. I'm
Great.
dreading that, to be honest.
I don't want that to happen.
But hey, I guess we'll see where it goes.
Please don't ruin Voodoo by connecting it to Grifter. That's all I want to say. Up next, BlackHawks. A book that it's really hard for me to say, because I don't hate the book.
Right.
But it's not something I enjoy. I think I've said before, where I look at the pile, I don't go, yay, BlackHawks, and I don't go,
you just go,
oh.
Yeah,
I don't go, oh, no. I just go, oh, yeah, BlackHawks is this week, too.
Yeah.
This is pretty fun.
I think this is the best. Like, I mean, I don't think that this is the best. I know that this is
the best of the three.
And I really think that I'm really buying into the whole man and technology. I mean, that theme, I think, really comes to fruition in this issue. Oh, they're really playing with this whole thing. I mean, just look at us. I mean, we're shooting this on an iPhone, right? I mean...
Oh, I don't give away our secrets.
Oh.
Then everybody will
We're shooting this with an entire team, a crew of 5 guys.
Shout-outs to Jimmy and Morty. Thanks, guys, for
Mr.
doing this
Peacock,
tonight. What up, Jim?
So, yeah. But what BlackHawks is dealing with is this element of bringing technology into our humanity where we're not separated anymore, which I really enjoyed in this issue. The action is really good. Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, BlackHawks is not one of those comics that you're like, oh, I gotta read it. Mm-hmm. But this was a really pleasant surprise this week.
I really did enjoy that one of the characters last month got some nanites in her, and she has some she has some sort of I don't want to say cyber abilities, I guess.
Right.
And she's like, just because I got these things in me doesn't know I know what to do with them. Yeah. And then they literally plug her into the computers, and she goes, this hurts, I'm going to get sick, I think this is how this works. Yeah. And she does the right thing. For once, there's, as will be something we discuss later, that I know you have a beef with, someone gets powers and goes, I don't know how to use these things. Well, let's hope for the best.
Hey, it's how it would be portrayed, right? You get injected with something, you're told that these are running through your bloodstream, and you go, yeah, but that just happened like yesterday, and I still don't know how to use them.
But they're so woefully unprepared for it. Like by spilling blood that has nanites in it, those nanites get loose, and it's like, come on, you guys know not to do that.
And this is a very small spoiler, but they have talking dogs in this, and I know this kind of is a throwback to probably the movie Up, but I loved it. I loved it.
There's a lot of dogs this week too. Spoilers galore. There's a lot of dogs. Put spoilers down there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dogs this week.
Yeah, but you know what? BlackHawks is a great book.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting it, but hey, give it a shot.
For sure. All right, up next, Teen Titans with the, will it be controversial, character of Bunker. Now,
I don't know.
Bunker is supposed to be flamboyantly gay. Not just a superhero who happens to be gay and it's no big deal. This guy is out, and his costume is pink and purple, and he is out, and he's totally cool with it. He's a brand new character, as far as we know.
Yeah, but you know what? If people complain about that, that's just
ridiculous. There isn't really a flamboyantly gay character out there.
Having read Teen Titans, I mean, there's a lot of things I like about this book. I think Scott Lobdell's Bart Allen is probably my favorite incarnation of Bart Allen. I know that could be, blasphemous to some, but I just think it's hilarious. His thoughts go a mile a minute, but he doesn't think it through to the degree. And there's a great 2-page spread. It's almost like, what did you compare it to? Family
Circus, like when Billy's footprints wander around.
Yeah, so you follow kind of, you've got like little circles with numbers, and you follow the numbers as Bart Allen is trying to save Solstice. And it's just a lot of fun. I really like Lobdell's voices for the characters. And I said that before, where the Legion books, they all sound the same. These characters sound very different from one another, and I really like that. Mm-hmm. And like in Red Hood and the Outlaws, the exact same thing. Each character has a very specific voice. And the other thing I like about Teen Titans a lot is that these characters don't know the full extent of their powers, and they're learning it, and we see that. So overall, Teen Titans for sure is another pickup for me. I like where it's going. And, I can't wait until next month.
Yeah, next month's going to be real fun. It looks like Cassie's talking to a guy who can split himself, which he did last issue. Mm-hmm. We've got to deal with Skitter.
Yeah.
We've got no sign of Superboy yet.
Yeah, I mean, so even though Teen Titans feels a little bit familiar, because it's got the Red Robin and Kid Flash, I mean, it feels different enough that it doesn't seem like, oh, it's just the same old story, and I'm liking that.
Mm-hmm. Real good. Up next, 2 of 12.
Is it 12?
This Shade miniseries is going to go 12 issues.
Alright, so I liked William Von Hammer. He's a character in the book. He's he's this guy on the cover. The blonde guy, the German blonde guy with the gun that shoots I want to say sunlight bullets?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they're glowing shells when they fire out. I'm not feeling Shade. I think it's better than issue 1, but they talk about this as a journey for Shade, and it feels like a journey, and not in a good way.
No, it feels like a Herculean task for us to read it.
Yeah, well,
James Robinson on Starman was so great because there was nothing like it at the time, and Shade became a really great character in that book. And now here's the Shade, a character that I'm going to ask bluntly: were you clamoring for a 12-issue Shade miniseries?
honestly, like,
Like,
no.
were you
No, I mean,
occupying Wall Street for a Shade miniseries?
Yeah, no. The quick answer, no. The Shade is, in fact, when I look at what I have to read, I look at and see the Shade, and I go, oh, really? The Shade? And we're going to have to do that for, I mean, if we continue this, we're going to have to do that for the 12 issues.
Honestly, people out there who comment on this video, please just tell us if you want us to review this book or not, because I will gladly drop it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm going to give it 4 issues.
All
I
right.
will give it 4, because it is getting better. And I don't mind Robinson's writing. I just... Does it need 12 issues?
No.
I'm not sure. I don't... Maybe it's because I don't like the Shade character. I'm not sure yet because I don't really know the Shade character. I'm willing to give it a shot. But with the Shade, there's not much drawing me to the title. So if you guys tell me that it's okay to drop it, we'll drop
asking you to give us one book.
Give us
to not
permission.
read, one book to not read.
But if you guys say no, read it, we'll read it.
Up next, oh, look at it's iVampire. Oh, surprise! A book that is really, really good.
You know what? Again, when we started this, we were looking at the list of books and we were like, oh my god, iVampire is just going to be like pulling teeth. And week after week, it really knocks it out of the park. It
It's
surprises.
so
you
good.
know, I wonder when iVampire will stop surprising us in it being good.
I don't know, but I'm not saying I have low expectations every week for it.
Right.
Every time it comes out, I'm not saying that because the first issue blew me away and was totally one I wasn't looking forward to.
Well, yeah, but our expectations were so low for iVampire.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But you open this book and the artwork is stunningly different compared to anything else. And it's so great.
Yeah.
It's so dark and
I-
the story's good.
I agree 100% with you. I mean, if you guys don't know, spoilers, in the next issue, we're going to Gotham to find Batman. So I'm a little worried that introducing a superhero will kind of, you know, again, I said it with Voodoo, the shoehorning in of a superhero. It does make sense that Batman is the superhero they introduce.
Yep.
But iVampire, like Voodoo, was doing such a good job on its own in its own world. So, I mean, we'll see where it goes, but this issue...
So good.
So good. They introduce a friend of his, John, who's been there from the beginning, and we kind of see how...
well, not the beginning. The beginning was 300 years ago.
right, not the beginning, but I guess the beginning of John's...
Yes, the beginning of John's involvement.
Yeah, involvement, which is really nice. And we introduce a character that you said you didn't think was absolutely necessary.
I liked him having one buddy, but them picking up a stray along the way kind of made me go, come on.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a reason for it. So, I mean, if you're enjoying iVampire, you're going to continue to enjoy it.
And if you
It's
haven't
really
been
good.
picking it up, do pick it up. It is a fantastic
In terms
book.
of the art, I think it's right up there with Batwoman as probably...
Some of the best art
Some of
out
the
there
best
in the new
art.
52.
Yeah, pick it up.
Up next, Justice League Dark. A title full of people that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And we get a character from Flashpoint, who is a character in this. This particular team is getting Mind Warp.
Mm-hmm.
This particular book, it's really good.
It's continuing to find, I think, its footing.
And they're still putting the band together.
Right. That might... Some people might have issue with that. They're still putting the band together.
Well, it's only issue 3.
But, I mean, they wasted a lot of pages in the first issue with Superman and Justice League. Having said that, what I really like about this book is there's a concept out there that magic always has a price.
Oh, yeah.
Cost, and you kind of feel that price in this book.
Mm-hmm.
That even though they're good guys, they are dealing with magic, which is not necessarily good or evil, but it has consequences to it. Which I think is really good, and you really feel it. And I think that the Constantine Zatanna stuff at the beginning is amazing, because I love Zatanna and I love Constantine.
Oh, I know.
So, I mean, putting them together in the way they did was just really good.
But they have a history.
They do have a history.
Which did not get rebooted away.
No, but it's fun to see them. And for new readers to it, don't be afraid of it, because they don't, you know, like, you don't rely on the history, but it shows they have a history together, which I love. And if you're a fan of DC Universe Presents Deadman and you like the Deadman character, there's some great Deadman stuff in this issue that he made me laugh, and he made me go, oh, that was cool. So I mean, it's got a lot of great stuff. Maybe it's taking a little too much time to get the band together, but
at least they were all in this book.
Yeah,
every one of them.
And I'm enjoying the ride, so I would definitely say give it a shot if you haven't.
For sure, do give it a shot. Up next, Savage Hawkman. I think it's well known that we're not this Hawkman fan.
Right, no, because we are Hawkman fans.
I love Hawkman.
We like Hawkman, just not this Hawkman.
Nope.
Just not this story of Hawkman.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't
even like the art.
If you like it and you're, watching these reviews, I don't want to spoil it for you because, you'll enjoy it. But they do stuff. They've introduced now 2 villains, and it's just a mess. I don't know. Like, I can't. I don't want to give you specifics, but there's stuff that happens in this book that I'm like, it feels like there's no rhyme or reason. They're throwing a ton of concepts out there that are just like, oh, this is going to be cool, this is going to be cool, this is going to be cool. And because that's what it feels like, it's like none of it's cool.
I know.
And it's like the character gets lost.
Well, and there is no character. Like, I mean, Carter Hall, like, what's the point? Like, he's not the guy we knew.
Yeah.
And he's not a guy I like right now.
And because he's not the guy we knew, and they haven't really done a good job with telling us who this new guy is, it's just stuff happening. He's not... It's a Hawkman book, but it's almost like he's not the main person in the book.
But there isn't one. And that sucks.
Yeah. So, again, Hawkman, unfortunately, is a pass for us. We wanted to get better. We love the Hawkman character. It's just, for us, this isn't Hawkman. In fact, we don't know what we're reading when it comes to the Savage Hawkman. All
I can think is they've made an adult version of Blue Beetle whose armor comes out of him.
Yeah.
Which, again, an unnecessary move on their part.
Yeah.
And I get upset every time I have to read Hawkman because all I can think is that he took a possible title away from Red Tornado. Up next, Firestorm's Fury of Firestorm, The Nuclear Men. I think this is a better book than it was last month.
I didn't really like last month's book.
No, you didn't. You didn't. I like some of the ideas they plant in this book. I like some of the writing they do in this book. The art, again, has pages where the black isn't black.
It's got to be a printer problem.
It's got to be a printer problem because you get it online over your...
And it's fine.
And it's beautiful. These don't turn out.
Why is it only on the Firestorm?
I don't know. You said you think they're sabotaging it on purpose.
Well, I mean, that would be ridiculous.
It
but
would
I did
be.
say that. That was ridiculous.
Ronnie and Jason both get a bit of a chance to shine in this book, and hearing them talk individually are those moments of Ronnie going, oh, I guess I got to do this now, and then failing at it and going, this sucks. I don't know how to use these powers. Jason somehow knows how to use his powers, which blows me away.
Right. Now, okay.
Here we go.
First, the good. I really like the character of Helix. If you've only read the first 2, you don't know who Helix is because they introduce him in this issue, and I think the introduction of the character is actually very nice and very well handled. That's all I liked about it. I don't like the art. I don't think it's just a printing problem now. I think the art is suspect. It looked rushed by the end, not just the printing. Let's get the art out of the way. We were talking about superheroes getting their powers and then knowing how to use them.
For some reason, Jason knows how to do this.
Now, I'm going to put a spoilers here because this is a spoiler.
Huge spoiler, guys.
The bad guys shoot his girlfriend, right? Now, if Jason knows how to use his powers... Now, I'm not a Firestorm fan, but can't he change the bullet into a different substance?
It's never the bullet that kills. It's the damage it does on the way in.
Right, so just change it into water, though, can't you?
The bullet, yes, but then the damage is still there. They can't, from what I know of Firestorm, you can't change organic matter. It's all just minerals and elements. It's not.
No, but
organic.
as the bullet is shooting,
well, he didn't get a chance. It happened.
Yeah, but if he knows how to use his powers and he's bringing, like, I guess what I'm saying is it's one of those elements where if they don't know how to use their powers yet, I don't know if they can use their powers or to what level they can use their powers, and you see him using it and bringing up the ground, and he's doing all these different things.
Yeah.
It's like, and then
I guess that organic thing's out the window.
Right, like, I mean, like, it's
confusing.
It's confusing to a new reader and to a reader who kind of knows what Firestorm is. I thought that he could change materials into different other materials, right? By knowing us.
So you're wondering why he couldn't change the bullet on the way.
On the way there, and have salt.
I'm sure there's in the book. I'm sure that he's distracted or whatever. But whatever, I understand what you're saying.
But that's what I'm saying. Where it's like, it's an example of superheroes. You set up these rules for superheroes, and then you kind of change it so that they're at peril, or that people around them are at peril. And you show that Firestorm can do this, but he can't do this when it's convenient for the story.
Right.
It's kind of like, I know Superman is a very, it's a sore spot for me, so I'm going to go back to last month's Superman when he was fighting the invisible monster. Now, it's one of those same things where we know Superman has all these powers, and he's invisible to Superman, and what happens is he has to watch the video screens for him to know where the monster is. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't Superman just, as he feels the punch, grab the guy's invisible arm?
Not convenient for the story.
Not convenient for the story. And when when things like that happen, that's where I'm like, really?
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I understand. I did like that Ronnie, not being the smart one of the team, at one point goes, "Oh, we only do that when we're angry at each other."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "But I'm not angry at you right now." And then Ronnie intentionally says something to make him mad, and they change instantly, and that's funny to me.
And you know what? You are right in that it is a step up from last week's. With the creative team on board this comic,
yep.
I feel like I put the level, the bar really high.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel with this book, they're just not hitting it, and they're making a lot of mistakes. Or, like, I don't know, I want to like Firestorm. I'm just not liking it. So.
I want to like Firestorm because I do like Firestorm. This new version of Firestorm, I'm still getting on board with. I do love Firestorm, though. Up next, The Flash. How will the art blow our minds again, showing us how The Flash deals with being the Flash?
This is a great book.
It's a phenomenal book.
The art is beautiful. This was my book of the week last month during this week. It continues to be a great book. Barry is amazing. You were saying that it's definitely a middle issue of an arc.
It is. It's not like, while this story has like a beginning, middle, end, this does feel like the beginning of the bigger story is overlapping into the end of the last book and the next book. You know what I mean?
You will probably need, if you're a new reader to this book now, you want to buy the first first two to kind of get the full effect. But I really like this new take on Barry Allen. I think it's great. I think
really
he's
do.
Proactive. It's what I want to see in a Flash book. Slight spoilers. He's got to save a plane from crashing.
Which was the way it was at the end of the last issue.
Which they pick it up, and it's great. It's well handled, really good. It felt like a superhero book, And
I have to say, I really like. I mean, the Flash stuff in the book is handled so well, but I really like seeing Barry as Barry. And trying to show that he's nothing like the Flash, like he's always late, and he's such a second banana as Barry.
Yeah,
like the other girl at the precinct is taking a full charge, and he's behind her like a sidekick. It's really fun.
It's a really good take on Barry Allen, and I always felt that Barry Allen was kind of boring, to be honest. I always preferred Wally. I mean, that's not to say I don't miss Wally West, but I like this take of Barry Allen. I really do. So again, Flash continues to impress.
Yeah, pick it up. It's a great book. Speaking of great books, here's Aquaman. Oh, man. Every time you pick up, and this is where we are total Jeff Johns nerds.
Yeah. Jeff Johns nerds.
Every time there's a Jeff Johns book, he drops little bits.
Of stories to come.
Yeah. And we get a character introduced in this book that has been there from Arthur's beginning. And maybe not something that, and I'm not saying it's like a total retcon, like it's not a change. It's just clearly this guy's been there from the beginning, and it's something that Arthur's never really wanted to talk about, because this guy isn't the shining moment of Arthur's life that he wants to show off.
Yeah.
He's such a good character.
Yeah, and we're not going to spoil it for you, because we want you to enjoy the ride. Sometimes when you pick up a book, it's just like, you can kind of go along with the character, the introduction of another character, and you get a piece of Arthur's history, and Aquaman #3 is one of those books. It's a great book. It's a definite pickup for us.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're enjoying Aquaman, then this is more of the same. Great. You get a little bit more about the menace from the trench, which is nice. You get a bit of Aquaman's back history, which is also nice. You still get people dissing Aquaman, which is great. Again, overall, it's a strong book, a very strong book, and one of the strongest of the New 52.
And if you're not on board with Aquaman, get on board with Aquaman. He is great. All right. Superman.
Okay, yeah, Superman.
Hey, remember the first issue where he fought the fire person?
Yep.
And then remember the last time when he fought the invisible person?
Yep.
And now remember this time how he's fighting a winter person?
Okay, first the good. Nicola Scott's art in this
Way great.
is amazing. Okay, so if you're a fan of her artwork, this is just great. I mean, the art's amazing. It almost makes the suit acceptable. Almost.
She does a lot of shots where the underpants are hidden by the perspective, and that's okay for him.
Yeah, I can pretend he's wearing underpants. That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's true.
The underpants don't make the Superman, okay? Superman makes the Superman. And here's you talk first.
The story actually spoils Action Comics.
A little bit?
A little bit. The story sort of makes it out that the media is to blame for turning Superman into not the hero. Like, the media is making humanity suspect Superman's intentions. And now Lois and Clark are working for that media. So what's real funny is that it actually kind of shits on the media turning Superman into something that the people don't like, which is what's happening. DC Comics is turning Superman into something people don't like this guy.
Which is, I actually was like, when, what's terrible is when a diehard Superman fan is siding with the bad media guys and going, yeah, you know what, he did do all those things. Why should we accept him? I think that's my biggest issue with the new Superman is Superman is supposed to be the benchmark.
Yeah, and
this is who all the other heroes are supposed to aspire to, and the reason why he wears underpants on the outside is so that people can automatically trust him. He is not a king Superman. You know, it's like, how can you be if you're a good guy, how can you be threatened by a guy who wears their underpants on the outside?
Remember Andrew's words, always trust a man who wears his underwear on the outside.
Yeah.
That means he's friendly.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's crazy. It means he's friendly.
Right. But my meaning is that when you have a Superman that actually looks very intimidating, and they're drawing him that way. Not as much in this issue, but with the red glowing eyes. I mean, are they overdoing the fact that lasers can shoot out of his eyes?
Oh, for sure.
I remember the moment, and I think it was Batman Hush, when Batman's talking about Superman and he's so nice, and then he fires lasers from his eyes. It's almost like an afterthought where, yes, he's capable of this power, even though he's, a gentle giant, so to speak, right? But now that gentle giant is gone. And I think in a way that they're trying to make him more accessible and edgy for the new kids. And I'm just kind of like, I feel, when I read Superman, I actually feel old. I feel like those darn whippersnappers and their new Superman, I want my old Superman. And you know what? I don't mind feeling that way because I have the books at home that, I put time and money into that's the Superman that I believe in. And as corny as that sounds, this Superman, I agree with the media. He has shown so far in the books nothing to make me want to look up to him.
And this book just reinforces the fact that I have no interest in Superman. Next, Batman Dark Knight. Admittedly, for us on this review show, I'm calling it a show now. The low point in the Batman books.
Yeah, the runt of the litter.
For sure. And I'm going to say this. If you're reading this, I guess spoilers galore. Let's say big spoilers because I don't know where you're coming at this review show from. But if you work on a Batman title and you're not talking to other people on other Batman titles or the company that puts out other Bat-related stuff like Arkham City, then when you pull off something in this book that is directly ripped off of one of those other things, maybe you ought to make a phone call. Maybe you should be connected to the character you're writing instead of coming up with something that happens in here that's already happened recently in something very big.
And it's such a shame if it wasn't intentional and it just kind of slipped through the cracks, because something happened exactly the same way as in Arkham City.
And here's a spoiler: the Flash is in this book. You don't want to put him on the cover? You put him on the cover with Captain Atom. You don't want to say Barry's visiting Batman for the first time in this series?
I enjoyed Flash in the book, except it wasn't the Flash. It wasn't Barry Allen that we were reading in the Flash. I actually was like, hey, maybe it's finding its footing, because there's a lot of stuff that's fun in the book, and it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, some of the humor. So I wasn't minding it, and then the Flash, I'm going to spoil this, he pricks his thumb on a thorn. The fastest man alive, who we've just seen can actually see like time happening in super slow-mo, pricks his thumb on a thorn.
Oops, I'm clumsy now.
Yeah, I mean, you might want to change. You know what? I can't recommend Dark Knight. If you're enjoying it, continue to enjoy it. The art is brilliant, but Snyder's Batman,
that.
Batwoman, Nightwing, even Red Hood and the Outlaws.
It's way more than this.
Yeah, I mean,
Batgirl, read those things. Skip this.
Pricks his thumb on a thorn.
Pure garbage.
The Flash.
Forget it. Finally.
Yes.
Guns, gore, Gotham, all-star Western.
Love it.
It's so great.
This is my book of the week.
So it should be.
Again, Palmiotti. Wow. What's the whole team on this?
Palmiotti and Gray, Moritat, and Jordi Burnett. But I think one of those guys handles the art in Diablo.
Okay. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter, because they are all doing a great job with this title. I love this book. As much as the thing I love about it is that even though it's in the DC universe, and I've said this before, it's separate from the DC universe. You're not expecting a hero to just show up and kind of spoil the party. Jonah Hex is a badass. I love the relationship with him and Arkham. If you're not picking up All-Star Western, you've got to.
It's real good.
It's a great book. If you like Westerns, it's a great book.
If you like Deadwood, you should be picking this up. If you like the old school stuff of Arkham City, the video game, you should be picking this up, because this is old Arkham.
Yeah, I mean,
if you like
great history,
buddy cop movies, this is your book. If you like detective mysteries,
Odd Couples as well,
Odd Couple stuff, like this has a lot of stuff.
A lot of different things in this book, and they handle it so well. Really like the art in this book. There's some holy crap moments in here. Love it. I cannot wait for the next issue. If you are not picking up Jonah Hex,
if you're a Western fan, this is the part of the Western story where the hero, the anti-hero, the man with no name, has come to town.
Yeah,
and he's found out all this stuff and found out a bit of information, and then goes, well, you know what? There's a lot going on here, and clearly it's time for me to go. He's not going to get far. Yeah. He's going to get sucked back into that story. But this is where he's like, I'm not anybody's friend. I got to go. And then he's going to end up staying.
Great book.
It's so good.
Great writing. Great art. Feels different. Feels dark. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Special. Go.
Okay, I've been talking about Scott Snyder's initial run on Batman Detective.
A lot. You've been talking about this
I've been talking about it a lot. This comes out in hardcover, The Black Mirror. Highly, highly recommended. I am trying to get Nug here to pick up a copy to read.
I'm gonna read yours.
It holds Scott Snyder's entire run on it. It's Dick Grayson as Batman, but it is amazing. I cannot say enough good things. The art by Jock is amazing. If nothing that we talked about this month excites you, if you don't want to pick up any of the books and you're a Batman fan and you have not picked this up, pick this one up. Highly, highly, highly recommend it.
Now it's time for Red Tornado Watch. There's no Red Tornado in this week's comics. There you go.
He's never going to show up, you know that.
He will.
No,
he will. I have faith. Okay, we have our books of the week here. We're going to agree on 6 of these, and I want to give an honorable mention. To another one. So, your book of the week?
My book of the week is All-Star Western. If you're not picking it up, pick it up.
Pick it up. My book of the week, Aquaman.
Aquaman.
The Flash.
Flash.
Justice League Dark, excellent book this week.
Justice League Dark.
iVampire.
iVampire.
And I think these might be 6.
Yeah, you know what? Instead of Justice League Dark, although I liked it, I would put Teen Titans for sure on this. I really like Lobdell's take on them.
I do too. And I think we did enjoy Dark. Don't get me wrong. We also enjoyed Voodoo.
Yes.
Voodoo was quite good.
So, I mean,
I would take one out and put Voodoo in. You would take one out and put Titans in. But for sure, Aquaman for me, All-Star Western, really for both of us, because those were such good books. Voodoo's a great pick this week. These top 6, and don't forget
the Black Mirror.
The Black Mirror.
Pick it up.
Who's the villain in Black Mirror?
I'm not telling.
Oh,